Hi folks, you're listening to the Skywatch Media News Channel, and here's what's happening for the week of October 22nd, 2018. Something is happening over at NASA with respect to our planetary defense program that should possibly have the world on edge, or at the very least curious as to what's going on. The proposed budget for NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office is increasing by $90 million. And this is during a time when the national budget is in dire straits. So there seems to be the need to quickly divert a good chunk of the defense budget towards the Planetary Defense Program that is in charge of tracking NEO threats, such as asteroids. No doubt the threat from space is very real. If a large asteroid were to enter Earth's atmosphere and then strike the planet, it would become the greatest catastrophe in the modern era. It would radically change the surface of the Earth. It seems suspicious that NASA is suddenly seeking a bigger defense budget to thwart the threat from near-Earth objects, after they had already assured the public that there was no imminent threat from space. The White House proposed increasing the planetary defense funding from its present budget of $60 million to a whopping $150 million. The proposal was made amid growing concern that humanity is unprepared for a calamitous strike from incoming space objects. In addition to the budget proposal, the White House also issued a NEO preparedness strategy and action plan to divert an asteroid catastrophe on Earth by deploying a redirection test spacecraft aimed towards a nearby asteroid. The primary question here is why the increased budget is being proposed, especially in a time when the national budget is in the red and in light of the fact that NASA told the public not to worry. Why issue a new plan for national security to protect from near-Earth objects when there appears to be no disaster that is looming from beyond? Obviously, preparing for disasters from space makes perfect sense. According to NEO's publications, there are 25,000 asteroids lurking in space that are 460 feet or greater in size. Of this number, 17,000 are yet to be discovered. In addition, there are nearly 1 million NEOs that pose some sort of threat to the Earth. It is because of the threats from space that NASA created the Planetary Defense Coordination Office back in the year 2016. Here's what's so suspicious about the latest proposal to increase funding to the space agency. The announcement did not make national headlines. In a move that was barely recognized, the space agency announced the creation of a directorate to specifically detect and track NEOs. The new coordination office is part of a very real effort to thwart the impact of asteroids upon the Earth. This office is then responsible for supervising all NASA-funded projects to locate and analyze the comets and the asteroids that pass near Earth's orbit around the Sun. One of the primary tasks for this new agency is to find a way to redirect potentially dangerous asteroids. They are already developing ways to push threatening objects off their course and away from Earth. If intervention of the space object is not feasible, then NASA would inform FEMA about impact timing and locations and ways to implement the emergency response operations. For their part, FEMA would then handle the preparations and the planning for the consequences that would follow the atmospheric entry and its impact on communities. The two agencies have already held emergency planning exercises in this regard. Here is what the head of the new Planetary Defense Coordination Office said when confronted with the question surrounding a major asteroid impact and its effects. If NASA was so confident that our world was not in peril from outside forces, then why so much fuss about national security and the need to increase defense measures from risks posed by incoming space objects? Should we expect these agencies to be forthcoming to the public about the dangers and the risks involved with NEOs? A few years ago, the head of Russia's space agency publicly stated that an asteroid some 885 feet wide, known as Apophis, would collide with the Earth in the third decade of the 21st century. This prediction was discounted by some astrophysicists, but that did not stop Russia from tracking this asteroid's movement. There are a series of space threats that space agencies aren't even aware of. Take, for example, the huge meteor that exploded over a U.S. military base located in Greenland, which appeared out of nowhere and came as a complete surprise to authorities, as was evident by their silence on the subject. Incidents such as the Greenland blast pose the real possibility that the world could be hit by an object with little or even no warning. And if the object is big enough, it could lead to death and destruction on a global scale. In a report conducted by the University of California, located in Santa Cruz, if a large enough asteroid hit the Atlantic a few hundred miles off the coast of New York, as depicted in this animation, it would generate a tsunami wave as high as 400 feet that would sweep along the entire Atlantic coast of the U.S. All of the major cities along the East Coast could be wiped out in a single day. This would be a disaster in the making, for the simple fact that nearly 40% of all Americans live in areas that directly border shorelines, making these people extremely vulnerable. One thing is for certain. Scientists are all in agreement that it is only a matter of time before we see massive tsunamis similar to the one that devastated Japan in the year 2011. But despite whether an asteroid should strike the Earth, the crust of our planet is already becoming unstable, especially along the Ring of Fire, and the effects are already being seen and felt. Whatever may be happening at NASA, it has always been their responsibility to inform and protect humanity from the dangers posed by incoming space objects. But can we be assured that NASA is being forthright when they tell the public not to worry? Or is there something that they are keeping from us for fear of what the public would do if they knew the truth? Are we really safe from incoming objects? The sudden rush to increase the defense budget to protect Earth from potentially dangerous asteroids cannot be overemphasized. There are obvious reasons to be concerned. A newly discovered asteroid designated 2018 UA flew past Earth at a very close distance of just over 9,500 miles on October 19th. What is worth noting is that this object was discovered just 90 minutes before its closest approach. This asteroid, which belongs to the Apollo group, is the closest known asteroid to fly by Earth since the start of 2018. Its estimated diameter is between 8 and 18 feet, so although not extremely large, its entry could have produced an explosion that would have also produced a number of meteorites capable of hitting Earth. The object flew past Earth at a speed of nearly 32,000 miles per hour, becoming the third known asteroid to fly past the Earth within one lunar distance in the last 2 weeks, and the 56th flyby since the beginning of 2018. Asteroid 2018 UA also made astronomical history by becoming the fourth closest flyby of a known asteroid on record, and the second largest known asteroid on record to fly by within 0.04 lunar distance. As you look up, keep your mind as bright and as clear as the sky on a cloudless day. Cherish the infinite beauty that is your life, and become steadfast in your continuous journey for truth and knowledge. Thanks for watching.